How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing the TitanX from Mantis. And just as a disclaimer, they did send this out to me to review. I just want to be as fair and transparent as possible. So with that being said, let's get back to the TitanX from Mantis. I was sent the 702 TitanX model, which I think is comparable to a Glock 47. And I'll be pretty honest, I was pretty excited to receive this thing. After unboxing everything and taking the case out, finally get to take a look at the TitanX, and it's pretty nice to see that we get an extra mag with this. Both mags are weighted, and I'll be getting back to that later on in the video. It's also kind of a nice aspect that you don't need to insert the mags as a battery pack for this thing to run, unlike the Blackbeard and Blackbeard X. I do include a couple things in this bag, including a logoed sticker, a USB-C cord, and a small little Allen key to adjust the elevation and windage of the laser. And of course, on the right side of the TitanX, you'll see the charging port for the USB-C cable, and then the two recessed set screws for the windage and elevation. And on top of the TitanX, there's a button by pressing it will constantly emit the laser. That way you can zero in the laser to the iron sights or a red dot if you choose to do so. I'd also add that this button also syncs your TitanX to your phone if you're using the Laser Academy app. The trigger in this is pretty nice, but when you've carried a Gen 5 Glock 17 with a stock trigger for the past 7 years, everything that shines is going to look like gold. So, what I might think is a Ferrari, you probably think that it's a 98 Civic. I'm just happy that I get to rip the trigger as fast as possible, and it doesn't feel as mushy as a stock Glock trigger. Now we're coming up to what I think is a personal setback for the TitanX, the screws for the red dot cap. If I remember correctly, the screws that come with RMRs and even the Holosun 507s are 6/32 screws. If you try to put those in the threads of the TitanX, you'll ruin those threads. And the screws Mantis sends for the cap is too short. What you need to do is go buy some M3-0.5 by 10mm recess screws if you're planning on adding a red dot to your TitanX. Personally, I think it'd be a huge benefit if Mantis added these longer screws. Now it's time to get down to the science side of things. Earlier I mentioned that the dummy mags were weighted, so I wanted to compare them to some of the mags that I carry, see exactly how different they were in weight. The results were kind of interesting. Both dummy mags weighed 268 grams or 9.45 ounces. Next, I grabbed one of my range mags that I had laying around. It's usually loaded with 115 grain full metal jacket. That weighed 283 grams or just under 10 ounces. Next, I grabbed one of my carry mags that I use every day. It's loaded with 124 grain Federal HSTs. This mag was easily the heaviest, coming in at 288 grams or 10.15 ounces. I was surprised to see that there was over half an ounce of difference between the dummy mag and my carry mag. Of course, I need to compare my carry gun with the TitanX, with my Glock 17 coming in at 924 grams or just over 2 pounds. The TitanX weighing at 502 grams or just over 1 pound. I know I'm nitpicking a few ounces, but when you compare a training tool to its realistic counterpart, something as small as a few ounces to a whole pound is a big difference. Probably one of the first things I noticed when I switched from dry fire with my carry pistol to the TitanX. Moving over to one of the reasons why I like the TitanX so much is that it's integrated with the Laser Academy on my phone. Being able to get real data after a drill has been pretty awesome. I always like to see what I need to improve on, or if I've improved and don't need to make any adjustments. Not to mention the money that I've probably saved myself. Sometimes I kind of just get in the zone and I can find myself at least doing 500 trigger pulls in a day if I have the time. Not to mention, I think the TitanX is great for teaching as well. For example, my wife has been pretty absorbent when it comes to learning fundamentals and practicing new drills, since she's not as experienced as I am when it comes to firearms. In conclusion, I think the TitanX is a great training tool. I think it's a great tool for teaching others, especially those that don't have as much experience with firearms. It's a great tool to safely train and educate others. Although I think the TitanX could benefit from weighing a lot more compared to realistic counterparts, along with the dummy magazines weighing just a little bit more, but that's also just my opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry it's been so while since my last upload. My wife and I just became parents, which has been pretty cool. And of course, a massive thank you to Mantis for giving me the opportunity to review the TitanX and sending it out to me. I couldn't be more thankful. Affiliate link will be listed in the description below. Y'all have a good weekend.